Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Poolside with Mel. We have Catherine Inskip joining us. She
Hello.
is our A&D technical rep. She's going to be partaking in this presentation. And I, of course, am Melanie Haskell, the VP of Sales for Dinoflex. And today we want to prepare you to be inspired on everything that is great about Dinoflex.
So we're going to walk you through a little bit of a presentation, but it's really just going to have more conversational feel to it. So we're going to speak a little bit first about where the company is located and what we do. So this beautiful view happens to be my hometown where the factory is located.
And that view is the view I get every morning when I wake up at the hotel I get to stay at when I visit the plant.
So Dinoflex is located in Salmon Arm, British Columbia, Canada, and that's where the manufacturing facility has been for over 30 years.
Now we're going to walk you through how we manufacture our product and exactly what ingredients go into it. So we start off with our SBR, or our styrene butadiene rubber. It's a commercial grade truck tire, and we only use a commercial grade truck tire. And Catherine, why is that?
Well, it's a harder type of rubber compared to something like a passenger type vehicle. And then we only use one source as well for all of our recycled rubber. It's from our neighboring province in Alberta. And they have a very strict cleaning process and everything there as well, which really makes sure that the rubber doesn't have any things like rocks or Kevlar or anything that's going to contaminate our flooring product.
Very true. That's a plant that I'd like to go visit one of these days, because I'd love to see the process of grinding the tire up and then using the big magnets to take out the metal and all of the sieves that remove all of the other debris. I think that it would be awesome to actually see that in process.
I agree. I can't believe I've actually never been there. It's so close. So
I've been with Dinoflex for 7 years and I've never been there.
yeah.
One day.
So our next ingredient is EPDM, ethylene propylene diene monomer. And that's the colored rubber aspect that we use.
And we always use a coarse and a fine in every color that we manufacture. And the reason we do that is because the fines fill in all of the pores, so we get the most dense, less porosity in the marketplace. We get this from Germany. We pay a little bit more for it. However, it's completely worth it because it has the lowest VOC in the marketplace.
As well as a really low odor. And I think, Mel, you have a pretty funny story about the differences in products that you can get and, an experience
Yes.
you guys had with that at a trade show.
Yes, not all EPDM is created equally. A coworker of mine and I were at a trade show, and he picked up a sample of EPDM because he was going to send it to the office to have some testing done on it. It literally made it over to his hotel room and then out in the hallway because it stunk up his room so bad. He said that it wasn't even worth taking back to the office to be tested. So note to self, not all EPDM is created equal.
And when you walk into our factory where we're manufacturing this and we're surrounded by rubber, you're not hit with that smell. You walk in and you can smell the cookies that somebody brought to share in the lunchroom, or someone's stinky tuna that they are having for lunch, or anything other than rubber, really. And we're surrounded by it. So it really is a low odor product.
Very, very true. I store all of our samples in a cupboard in my office, and I can open that door and I do not get any type of pungent odor coming out at me when I open the door. So our recycled rubber has little to no odor to it.
Then the next ingredient is the polyurethane binder.
It's manufactured by our sister company located on the same premises as Dinoflex, manufactured to the day that we use it. They take into consideration the temperature, the humidity, and any of the environmental conditions that are happening at the time.
Yeah, and it's pumped over, like it's all in the same building, our sister company. So it really is a controlled substance. We're very aware of all the ingredients that are in it. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but it was also a huge help in making this ingredient to help us achieve our health product declaration, because we weren't tracking down other manufacturers trying to figure out what weird chemicals are in our product. We have the ingredients list, we're aware of it, and there's no hidden hazards or things that are undisclosed in it.
I agree. And Catherine, the other thing that I like about the fact that our sister company manufactures this is we truthfully have complete control over our manufacturing process. So we know at all times what is going into all of our products.
Yes, and we're not dealing with any shortages right now with everything that's going on in the world. So it's a good situation for us.
That's very true. So then we have our block manufacturing. So all of our products are manufactured in a block form. And the advantage of that is that it's made flat and it stays flat and it's guaranteed never to curl. And it also, so after it's put into the block, we do take it and we air cure it, which again is environmentally friendly.
Yeah, we're not using any heats or any solvents or added chemicals to try and cure or melt the rubber together. It's simply just drying with that polyurethane. And this just shows a little snippet of our warehouse and how we store all of the blocks that are manufactured. And this goes along the lines with our made flat, stays flat, guaranteed never to curl. Everything is made in this flat sort of tiled state, and then tiles are sliced from this. So we're not dealing with rolls.
One of the advantages from Dinoflex as well is that we can slice our products anywhere from a 4 millimeter all the way up to a 16 millimeter as a homogeneous product. And so what's great about that is that when you're slicing it, it's like slicing a loaf of bread. You're getting that consistency all the way through. Unlike a rolled good where it's being sliced, sorry, I need to put my drink down, where it's being sliced this way, you can get a difference on a 4 millimeter of anywhere between 3.8 and 4.2. With a Dinoflex product, a 4 millimeter is a 4 millimeter product all the way through.
And the gentlemen that are at the factory, and ladies, that we have ladies working there too, that are cutting the product, use calipers and they measure each mat on each corner as it's coming off the slicing machine. So we have a really tight QA/QC process in place. That way you're not left with uneven tiles that are going to show any kind of seams or defects once it's installed.
Very true. And here's our made flat, stays flat logo. Again, because it's manufactured in that block format, it is made flat, stays flat. So you're never going to have to worry about any curling that will happen over time.
And that's a really big deal for installers. I mean, in the design world, we might not understand why that's so important, but you know, installers charge you for their time. And if they have to spend more time putting tape on every seam or weighing down seams or coming back because the seam has popped up and now it's a tripping hazard or unsightly seam for your customer, you know, you're not going to be very satisfied and it's just going to be a lot more struggle. And sometimes there's tape residue left over on the mats. Melanie and I have both been to various installations that have been done by competitors. Sometimes we know who the product is, sometimes it's unidentifiable to us, but we've both seen what can happen when those edges do start to curl up and create that tripping hazard and they get worn. And we've never had that with our products. I've been to an arena in Calgary, Alberta, where our products were down for 20 years and being walked on with ice skates on the staircases and everything. And no lifting, no issues with that, still perfectly down and in place.
And so Catherine, so here it's showing you a rolled good basically. So a rolled good is basically like a piece of paper towel. As soon as you tear that paper towel off, it's going to curl up. A rolled good would do that the same way. And I was in a Under Armour store pre-COVID, of course, where they had a rolled product in the dressing room and you could see it was pulling up. I don't know how long it had been down for, but it was definitely pulling out. And so you can see here, this is just a sample of a competitor's product, but because they took that sample from a rolled good, you could see that it's starting to curl up. What would have been great is if I had taken a picture of our own samples and did it side by side so that you could see that our product lays flat even in a sample state. So why this is important, and Catherine, you hinted to it earlier, is that for an installer, and even for a designer, I would think, when this product is being installed, you don't want sandbags or bricks being put on a brand new floor that you've created and picked out for your client, which is just going to get messy and dirty, especially if a concrete bag happens to break open. With Dinoflex, you don't have to weigh it down. You don't have to tape it down. You just glue it, roll it, and walk away, which is really, really great.
Yeah. Time saved is money saved.
That's right. And that will reduce your installation costs for sure.
As well as just the size of our tiles. So here we're showing them being water jet cut. And because everything is a manageable size, it's not a huge roll that somebody's struggling with. One individual can lift up our tiles. A square cut is 38 inches by 38. And then the interlocking is shown here is 37 inches by 37 inches. So basically 3 feet by 3 feet, very easy for somebody to handle. easy for an installer to even be working on their own and work through a room quickly. You don't need multiple people in there lifting things and moving them around.
And the other great thing, Catherine, too, about the fact that we water jet cut is you get that precision edge. But not only that, we are one of the very few manufacturers that does their own water jet cutting in-house.
Yes. Yeah. And in the image on the right-hand side, you might not even be able to tell, but that is showing a seam of two pieces coming together that have been water jet cut. So that seam is running right down the middle and you can't see where one tile ends and another begins. And I know that that's very important to a lot of designers because when you're looking at something and you want to have a full finished look, you don't want necessarily a tiled look to it. We understand that. The combination of the granules that we have and that speckled appearance and then the water jet cutting really does give a nice, even appearance.
Right. And Catherine, think about all the times where we've been at a trade show and where someone has walked up to us and said, oh, this is great. This is a rolled product. And then we show them that it's not, that it's actually an interlocking product. And they're so surprised that the edging and the seams are so tightly fit together.
Yes, we do a lot of squatting, standing up to just show them and pick up the product. And they're always like, oh, wow, very surprised that like even that puzzle piece, because you look at something like that and think that it might be more geared towards something athletic, but it can be used in finer situations where, you know, you do care more about the aesthetic of the installation and those seams do just disappear.
Yes, I agree.
So we'll speak to some of the advantages.
So Dinoflex does have our third-party verified environmental product declaration. We were actually just in the process of renewing it for a second time. So we're in the final stages, and so it should be all ready to go in about 2 weeks. But we know that it's very important to be fully transparent on the effect that we have on the environment.
Yeah, and this is a great document as well when working on green projects because it has that transparency about how far away we're trucking in things from Alberta, the fact that we're bringing in that product from Germany, how is it getting here, what's the environmental impact on that, and then our factory itself is evaluated, you know, the health of its employees, the health effects of the products themselves, all of that is taken into consideration. So it's a really great document that we have.
Yes.
As well as the health product declaration, which I'm very excited about because we are the first recycled rubber manufacturer to have this third party verified. All the other ones that we have found on the HPD website are simply self-published, which means that it hasn't been checked and verified by a third party to say that, yes, these are the actual ingredients that are present. These are the hazards, where we went through that and it was a very rigorous process.
Yes, it was. It took us, what, Catherine, 3 years to get it completed?
I'm ashamed. It's even longer. Like I feel this was a subject that was started when I began at Dinoflex over 5 years ago, and it passed on through different people's hands and sort of landed in Melanie and I's lap, and then we saw it through to completion. Actually, they did while I was away on mat leave, but it was a very exciting time for us. And it's just, again, a document on complete transparency about everything that's in our product, all the hazards that are potentially available. And it can seem like an overwhelming, scary document if you're looking at the hazards because it's looking at them at a micro level, whereas as a whole, we have other certifications that evaluate the product, not necessarily the chemicals that are going into it. And that would be something like our floor score certificate.
Yes, and so all of our products are floor scored certified, and that's it's really the highest level of indoor air quality. So we know without a shadow of a doubt that when you put one of our products in one of your spaces, that your people are going to be breathing in a very clean air, and it's not being impacted by our product whatsoever.
Yeah, I remember we had a client asking us like, okay, so it's floor score certified, but still there must be something emitting, like what are the VOC levels? So I reached out to the testing lab that does that test for us because it simply just gave us a pass or fail. And they said that the levels were too low to indicate. So everything was always just showing like less than the 0.00, whichever would be available for that hazard. So it really is non-emitting of anything harmful.
Which is very, very important.
And then we also can help work on lead projects with you guys. I'm a lead GA, and we have a few other employees at the office who are working through the program as well. So we can help with filling in the forms for your clients if they're unfamiliar with the lead program. There's quite a few different categories that our products can help contribute towards credits for. So it's really great that we can just be, again, transparent with our information, help fill out those forms, and then help qualify for lead certification.
So Catherine, what exactly would qualify? So would it be the distance for our SBR?
There's many things in lead that you can get credits for that our products help qualify. I think there's around 7 that we contribute to in the categories, and in there can be subcategories. So here we're looking at a picture of our playground tiles. It's an outdoor installation. They're porous, they allow water to drain through them, and that can be a part of it, is just your water management and water runoff and everything. It's not sitting on top and then being directed elsewhere. It contains recycled material, which gets credits for. The fact that it's low emitting, you get credits for, so the no VOCs. The fact that we're bringing in the recycled content from a local source and it's not being shipped from across the world. I know the EPDM is, but the recycled content is local, so we get credits for that. There's credits for innovation and design with the interlocking tiles, how they can be flipped over and used on the other side. We can do take back programs with unused product or uninstalled product that's not got concrete or glue or anything on it, and we can regrind that back up and recycle it back into our product. So there's many different ways that we can help achieve some points.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. And
this is my favorite part, is our custom capabilities. So one thing you'll learn with Dinoflex is that any of our standard colors, there's no minimum order. However, with our any custom type of a color, you have to purchase full block multiples. And now most of you are probably used to, oh my gosh, it's a custom color, I now have to buy either 2,500 or 5,000 square feet as a minimum order. Ironically enough, that's not how Dinoflex operates. So with the full block multiple, for a 4 millimeter, you're actually looking at 290 square feet for 4 millimeter as a minimum order. So it's super, super low. So don't be shy to go on and create any type of custom color. So we do have our color innovator, and this is just kind of showing you that you can pick a bunch of colors. They have to total up to 100%. You have to have a minimum of 5% black, 15% fines, but you can play and you can adjust, and you can create your own custom color for whatever project you're working on.
Yeah, so this is a one that Melanie made up just to show you how she played with the percentages. And then this would show you what the final swatch looks like. And our website's very easy to use with this. If you don't like the look of that, if you say, I want it to be more red, you can easily go back and adjust that hot tamale color. And the great thing about customs as well that I'll speak to is that it doesn't change the lead time with our products. Which is very important. We work usually within a 2 to 3 week lead time on all of our products that are manufactured, and that's from time of order. So doing something custom doesn't have to be a big ordeal. It can be very easily suited to your project's needs and not create a big disruption. There's no upcharge for creating something custom. Pricing is simply based off of how much color is in our product, and that's across the board all the time. So again, if you created this and you found that it was above your budget, you could just come in and then remove a bit of the color, add a little bit more black, check your visual, see how you like that. We have a wonderful lady, Barb, who works in-house, and she's been with us like since the beginning, I think like 22 years now. And she creates all these little petri dishes and mini blocks and physical samples of these custom colors that are created on our website, and we can have those shipped out to you that day or the next day, which is very impressive. And it's just a really fun way to incorporate, you know, if you're working on a sports team with their logo colors, or you have a specific color scheme for a building that you want to fit, and you're just not finding that within our color selections.
Very true. Barb is a miracle. So these are all of the colors that you have to choose from. So there's several to choose from. And keep in mind that a lot of these are double because you have a coarse and you have a fine version. And honestly, when you do something that's more coarse and versus more fines, or more fines versus more coarse, it really does change the appearance and the look of the color.
It does, yeah. Yeah, so it's a very fun thing to play around with. And Melanie and I both really enjoy when we get to create new product lines because we essentially get to do that process for ourselves. And yeah, it's fun.
It's
Everybody
fun.
likes playing
You'll
with
enjoy
colors.
playing with it for sure.
Yeah. So then this shows an example of some of the logo work we can do. So again, this is done all with our water jet cutter. We have some in-house designers who can take your logo either from a vector graphic or any kind of supplied image that you have, and we can translate that into what it would look like with rubber mats on the floor. So this is an actual installed picture of our local hockey rink here. This is our team, the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. And this logo has been down, I feel like this picture was taken when it was new, but it's been in place there now for quite a number of years, and they just keep adding on to their facility with our rubber as their budget allows. So it's great to be able to see that locally here.
And that's the advantage, Catherine, of being able to do our own water jet cutting in-house, because it allows us to do this on our premises for our customers, as well as put them together before we ship them out to be installed.
Yes, yeah, and everything is put together first to make sure it all looks good and fits well. There's no seams. We're running our clean hands over it to make sure that it just feels smooth and cohesive. And if there's any issues, we're not signing off on it. We're bugging production. We're telling them you have to go back and cut that again. And we really do stand behind the quality that we're putting out there, because we know for a team or for anyone with a logo or branding that means a lot to them, and they've worked a lot. That's their symbol. That's what they stand for. So we really want it to be perfect.
Catherine, and that reminds me of a story. When I was at the office one time, I believe it was Caitlin that was putting one together for one of our business partners, and it had just a tiny speckle of orange in it. And I can't remember what the background color was, but this one little EPDM speckle stuck out. She came and she got me and she said, Mel, what do you think about this? And we all agreed that that section needed to be remade. So we remade it for our customer. That's very important to know, that we take a look and we take pride in our quality to make sure that we are sending out quality products when they're going out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This is another one, our patterns. I love our patterns, and this happens to be one of my favorite patterns that we've worked with. We've done it at a NewCon, if anyone has ever been at there. We've done it there, and we've done it at IDEX in Toronto one year as well. Patterns can be fun. Maybe not something that you want to do in a full space, but using it to create an area rug, I think can be really, really fun. These are all water jet cut again, but they are glued down in place. This is no chance of being an interlock. It does have to be glued down, but you can have some fun with it. And, you can really create your own patterns as well. Again, it can be custom, but currently we have 4 patterns that are available to you.
Yeah, and you can choose any colors to go with these patterns as well. And we've worked out a really simple pricing sheet that, again, has more of that area rug. So you can say if you wanted 100 square feet of a pattern, it'll cost you X per square foot. So it's a fun program as well, and very, very easy to use.
So Dinoflex knows that the architect design community is very, very important. So we have had a huge focus over the last couple of years to make sure that we have and are on platforms that the designers go to, so that we're making your life easier. So the design studio, this is one where you're going to find on our own website. It's right on the home page. If you click on it to the launch button, it's going to take you to everything that you possibly need when you're specifying a product. It has your rivets on it. It has color images on it, pictures. It'll have your technical data, your specification sheets, installation warranties, everything possible you are going to find on this. We know the importance of time, and so we've tried to make it so that everything is located in one place for the designers.
Yeah, I really like this update that we've had. That was a happy surprise to come back to as well after my leave.
It's a tool that I'm proud of, Catherine. I think it's a fun tool. And then, of course, we have our BSD spec link. I don't know if anyone has ever heard of BSD spec link, but basically it's one of those wonderful platforms where you can go in and you kind of click and do a check mark, and it helps you create your spec.
And then we have Dodge Suites as well. And Mel, I'll let you speak to these. You're more versed in them than I am.
So again, Dodge Suites is another spot that you can go to gather up the information that you're looking for your project, as well as creating and put your specification onto Dodge Suites, so it's out into the public eye as well.
What I really like about what you did, Melanie, was that you recognize that not everybody is going to fit into the standard of using one website, such as Dodge Suites or BIM objects. And so you put our product on all of these different platforms. And that way, if somebody already is familiar with this, it's not a learning curve for them. It's easy. They can go, oh, that's great. I can get Dinoflex on there as well. And, you know, just really making it a smooth transition for A&Ds to use.
Thanks, Catherine. And that was one of our thought processes behind it, is we realized that not everybody uses the same platforms, and not everybody has all of the platforms. So we wanted to spread ourselves out a little bit to make sure that we were hitting everyone on the various platforms that we were working on.
Yeah, it's great.
BIM objects, again, this is where you can go to get all your rivets, all of the information that you need to require to make up your specification. So this is great because, again, we've had all of our rivets added to it, which makes life a lot easier for the designers. AEC Daily, now this is for our education, our continuing education. So as of very shortly, actually, we'll have 2 courses up there. So we'll have sustainable design with recycled rubber, but we'll also have our case study, one that will be up there, so that if you're looking for anything as a continuing education online, you can go here. As of January 1st, we will be able to do live lunch and learns, whether they be in person or virtual, because we will be a member of AIA, which we're very proud to announce here.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah,
and it's a simple course too. You know, it's informative, but it's not going to set you up to fail type thing.
you know what, Catherine, I know I remember when I first sat down to take it 7 years ago, I thought, oh my goodness, this is really, really long, because I think there was like 56 slides or something like that. But it's really quick. Once you get into it and you find it very fascinating to learn about where rubber comes from, it is a quick course.
Yeah, I agree.
Catherine, would you mind going back? So a couple other places that we're on is we're also on Material Bank. So if you're ordering samples, you can order them and have them within a 24-hour period. Whether you're in the US or in Canada, you have access to that now. We will be launching on To The Source very shortly as well. We're also part of Mindful Materials and part of Virtual Library. So you're going to find Dinoflex in other various platforms that we haven't actually listed here today. But they're all platforms, and don't hesitate to let me know if maybe there's a platform that we're not on, but it's one that you use all the time. Please share it with us, because we would love to learn more about new platforms. And we're also right now looking at our Declare label, which is something very interesting. So I have a meeting at the end of the week on the potential for getting our Declare label. So I'm very excited about that as well.
Yeah, I feel like the world is always learning and growing and evolving, and we try our best to keep up with that, with all these different green programs and testings available. And that's why we pursued so many of these platforms and these certifications like our EPD and HPD. So we try not to stay stagnant. We really do like to develop as the world develops, and we know that information just really is power these days. And we really do like to work with our customers, whether that's the architect, designer, the flooring contractor, the end user, whoever it may be, anyone that has questions or concerns about our product. You know, we really have a tight-knit team that can help tackle any kind of question that comes our way. And, you know, there's no project that we say no to.
That's true.
There's no challenge we'll say no to. We really do like to work with people and get to know our customers and get to know why it's important to them, you know, all these different factors that they care about. And we like to find the thing that fits their budget and also fits their needs best as possible.
That's very, very true. Catherine, I agree with that. Sorry, you can move it forward now. I apologize.
No, that's fine.
And so we do have an upcoming webinar, and that webinar will be on products and applications. I hope that you enjoyed this webinar. It's been quite exciting to do it with Catherine. Thank you so much for co-hosting this with me. I truly appreciate it.
My pleasure. I just wish I was there with you at your pool.
I know, I wish, you know, COVID's almost over. So, you know, once everybody gets vaccinated and we can start flying across the country again, you're more than welcome to come for a visit. So before we go, are there any questions?
Yeah, we could open up the chat.
A couple come through. So first one here, is it easy to repair single tiles if needed? How accurate would the match be in the tiles if we had to recreate tiles for a portion of a floor at a later time?
Absolutely. So it is actually, it's much easier to repair our tile floor because you can take out that whole tile versus repairing a rolled good floor. So with Dinoflex, if you have any, we'll call it dead stock or overstock, attic stock, you can just take that tile out and place it in. Ironically enough, it's a story I also like to share when people ask a question like this. Is I was traveling with a rep in the Vermont, New Hampshire area, and I went to a ski resort, and I had seen that there was this new tile down that was about 30% pearl, but the rest of the floor was black. And I said, how come you use that color? Like, is it because that's all you had on hand? And he said, no, that's the same color as the rest of the floor, but the rest of the floor is just that dirty because they had, the previous maintenance people hadn't been cleaning it properly. So they, when they cleaned it all up, the old floor looked as new as the new floor, and it just took a whole bunch of auto scrubbing. So that's literally how easy it is. However, when you do repair a rolled good, you're always going to see that cutout portion. Now, when it comes to color matching, you're always going to get a little bit of UV degradation that will happen over time. However, the new tile that you put in, as long as it's from an attic stock, it will eventually blend in as well. Now, if you have to make new product, you may get a dye lot issue because, you know, depending on how long ago it was manufactured, we may not have the same dye lot available, but it will be extremely close.
Yeah, and that's again another thing that I like about our supplier of EPDM is the consistency of their colorings, that we don't have. Yes, there's different batches, but when you're looking at two bags of the same color, they don't look like different shades. Like, they are very consistent with their coloring. They have very high tech equipment that they use that helps ensure that the color is accurate and correct. And if we can, like, we keep record of every order and what batch was used. And you could see that we had written on the side of the blocks which batch number it was. So if you reached out, you didn't have any more attic stock, we're going to check that first and see, did we have anything left over from your order that's sitting in our warehouse? And then we'll take it from that same batch as well.
True.
That's great. The next one here, what areas would you say are not recommended to have rubber floors?
So we always say back of kitchens, absolutely an area where you would not want to use our recycled floor. Another one that we get all the time is, can I put your floor in my garage? If you're using your garage to drive on, the answer is no. If you're using your garage as a workout facility, the answer would be yes. Catherine, can you think of any other areas that you wouldn't put recycled rubber?
So really, yeah, like oil is just the biggest one. So any kind of situation where there's going to be a lot of oil or greases present, that's going to really deteriorate the materials. But other than that, you know, it really is suited for such a wide variety of applications. I like to think anywhere where you might have carpet, you could also have recycled rubber.
Really anywhere that you have flooring.
Yeah, and then we have so many different product lines as well that we have different ones suited for different applications. So you wouldn't take our indoor flooring and put that outside on a playground and expect it to perform the same. That's why we have the playground tiles. So we'll get into all of those products in the next webinar. But we do have a lot to sort of fit every situation. And if you came to us with a scenario of, you know, well, this is what we're trying to achieve. Again, that's where we'll work with you. And we have different coatings and things like that as well that can help. You know, we're working on like a veterinary rehabilitation facility right now for poor little animals that are coming out of surgery and they're slipping on the floor right now and having a hard time walking. So we're going to have our rubber down there to help them out and be grippy and withstand their claws and whatever it may be. So, you know, there really is not much that we're restricted to.
Great.
Perfect.
Next one here. Do you recommend rubber flooring on stairs?
Yes, actually we do, because rubber has a higher slip coefficient wet than it does when it's dry, and it has a higher coefficient than a lot of most floorings. We have a ton of images that will show you our recycled rubber on floor or on stairs.
Yeah, and even like I was saying, the ice rink that I went to, they have the public skate area that's down below, but then the washrooms are up a flight of stairs. And so they didn't want people to have to take off their skates and stuff to walk from the ice into the washrooms. So they put it on the stairs. And so people can walk with their skates up a flight of stairs into the washroom that they extended the flooring into. And it's not even, it looks brand new. Like it's not chewed up or anything. It's very excellent and very high traction. So it's a very safe option.
Great. And last one here. If I want to explore using Dinoflex rubber flooring in my designs, what steps do I have to take? How do I find out who or where your local partners are or distributors, local partners or distributors?
So to be perfectly honest, all you have to do is email specifications@dinoflex.com. And that's Catherine's email address, and she will work with you and put you in connection with our business partner in the area.
Yeah, it's very simple. And again, whatever your needs may be, if you had immediate questions, we like to answer those directly from the factory. So you're not playing telephone tag and trying to get a hold of somebody. So we'll answer any questions you have, help guide you to that right product, help you with samples, and then help you get pricing from the appropriate contact in your area.
Great. Well, I think that's all of the questions. Do you guys have any final comments to make?
Kaylin, when is our next webinar again? Can you remind me of that date?
It's going to be August. Haven't yet set that date, so I'm not entirely sure.
Very good.
But
So we will
let
make
everybody know.
Absolutely. So anyone that was on this webinar will make sure that you get a personal invitation with the new date for next month's webinar, and just know that it will be on products and applications. And we're going to show a whole bunch of areas that we've done recycled rubber, because there may be some areas that you may not be aware of or you haven't even thought about using recycled rubber. So until then, thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing you next month.
Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Enjoy your day.